Hey everybody, it's Brick Waffle again, and we are back on Empyrion Galactic Survival, and today we are going to take another look at this capital vessel, and we're going to start doing some shaping here to get a hull that looks really good on the outside. So in the last episode we built the inside of the ship. If you wanted to go catch up on that, please go take a look at that last video. And we've got all of our rooms closed in here, but it's really boxy and blocky, and it doesn't look very good yet. So today what we're going to do is try to remedy that. We're going to try to take all of the places where you have these really sharp angles, and we're going to smooth them out a little bit. We're also going to try to figure out what we want to do with the cockpit. And actually, I think we want to start... we're probably going to have to modify this again. Maybe we'll end up here. But we're going to have to modify this based on what kind of console decorations we put in as well. So for now, I know we want to use some glass. And so let's go ahead and do, what is it called? Windows. And there's armored window blocks. There we go. So this one, I think what we want to do is come out like here. And then we probably need to do some beveled stuff. So armored round windows. Let's do it this way. One of those... And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And that's going to come up a little bit. And the same thing on this side. Oops, there we go. And then we're going to need some round corners. Like that. And like that. There we go. That's looking pretty good. And you're going to need another round vent up here. And that's going to have to be like that. And then the other side. So we want kind of a big glass dome out of the front of this, and we're going to work on some shapes with other stuff too. Then we need regular armored windows. We're going to use some big panels here like that. Oh, we can't though because that's not going to work. Let's do vert 1x2s. There we go, just like that. And then we need some of these. One, oops, nope, we'll get that one out in a minute. Nope, okay, we'll get it out right now. There we go. A little hard to place some of these things just like that. And then some regular window armor panels over here. Let's go in and do this one. So let's take that guy out right there and do 1, 2, and that's not going to work because I want some room for the console in here. Let's do it out this way a little bit instead. 1, 2. That way I can still put a console in front of those guys. And this way, 1, 2. And yep, that's going to not quite match up perfectly, but we're going to do something right here. Right like that across the top. There we go. So this one does stick out a little bit on those sides, but that's going to be just fine. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Okay, so for now we've got a very, very basic cockpit, but we can say that this whole front is more or less the way we want it. Now we want to bevel some of this other stuff too. We can't do a lot with the hangar here because if we do, you know, the hangar door is the hangar door. We could resize it and make it smaller, but that's not really where we want to go with this. But what we might want to do is add some bevel on top. And with that, we might want to just use some slope blocks, kind of like this all the way across. But if we do that, when we get down over on this side, it's going to look a little weird being right there. So we have to play around with this a little bit. I think what I want to do is actually take out a row right here at the front. Oops, let's take this guy out. Maybe to there. Let's see how that works. And then if we bring these bevels all the way across here, that's a little bit better. Now what we probably want to do is turn something around a little bit. Maybe we can do one of these corners. I don't think this is going to work the way I want it to. No, not that. Nope. It's really not the shape that I want to find here. You know, that's not bad though. I think that's going to have to do it right there. Yeah, there we go. That'll work, that'll work. And we're going to do the same thing over here on this side with one of these. There we are. So now that kind of bevels in between the square blocks and the slope blocks. So let's do the same thing on this side. We're going to take out that guy all the way across to, where do we go? Right back next to the back window. Perfect. Okay, so get a little closer. There we go. One of those. And like that guy. And that one. And then we're going to go for these sloped ones again. Like that, all the way across here. There we go. Now that we've got a little bit of a bevel, and it does flare out again at the front, but that's all right. So we're not going to do a whole lot with this other than texturing it because we want to leave a nice clear space for them to be able to see right out of the cockpit past the front of the hangar deck. But up here, this definitely needs some work. So we want to transition this piece for sure as well. And I think that might also just be a matter of kind of going, oops, like that. And let's do that all the way down this corner as well. So we're going to take that guy right down here. Nope, that's not what there we go. That's it. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Oops, if I can get around here. Like that, and that, and that. There we go. So now we're starting to get the idea of just a little bit of bevel. And I want to do the same thing up on the top, but of course you want to angle that this way. That's looking much better. Okay, and if we do this one across here, nope, that's not the right axis, that's the right axis. And then over here we're going to do the same thing for these three. And then we're going to need to do a corner piece. So let's do corner there, and a corner right there. Okay, so now we're starting to get the idea that just even with a few angled pieces, we're already starting to make this look less blocky and more interesting. So now I think what I want to do is just carry this on across the front of this for now, and then we're going to do some wider slopes when we get out a little further. So over here, this is going to be a little trickier, because we want to go back to these slopes again. And this one I need to be like this, and then this one has to connect kind of out and around. That's going to be a little trickier to do. So there's two ways we can do that. One, we can take the slope out right here and kind of angle it in, or we can try to do some corners. Let's see, like here. That's not going to work either, though. That one really does need to go all the way to that side. So then what we need is something to kind of connect these two things. That's a little bit better. Like that, and then maybe we have a corner on this side. Yeah, I think that's going to do it. And then what we're going to do is take this guy all the way out down here. And we will leave that. We'll leave that alone for the time being, but we're going to do the same thing over on the other side as well. So that's the corner on the outside edge, like that. And then we got to take all these guys out from underneath. And then we've got, what was it, this corner, I believe, here? Yep. And then we go back to our slopes on this side. Perfect. And now we need to just basically do that again all the way along each side here. Oops, like that. All the way along here. And I think what we're going to do is go right across the top and go straight to the back of this thing. And we'll talk about what to do with these bevels in a minute. Okay, let's bring this one all the way across, all the way down to the end, right to there. Perfect. Good, yeah, this is looking pretty nice. Now this is looking like a big old bus, and we might do some things to give it some horizontal breakup. Maybe we'll put some big thruster pods on the side of it, because we don't have any way to propel this vehicle yet either. But this is going to help with decoration and with the way we want this to look. You know, actually, I think what we want to do is bring this thing out, and we're going to bring this guy all the way across back to here too. Maybe even right back into this corner. Let's leave that alone for now, because we don't know what we're going to do with this one yet to connect that down. So we're going to come over here. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, there's that. And then pop that around and all the way back to that corner. That's better. That's much better. Okay. So around the back of the vessel, I don't want to do a whole lot with the back yet until we get the thrusters on. So we know we're going to have that kind of slope going up. We also need to put a few guns on this thing. So there's a couple of ways we can do that too. I think we probably want to fill this in with regular combat steel up here. And that's going to give us another layer of protection, and we can put all sorts of stuff on the top of that. So I'm going to do this real quick, and then I'll bring you guys back when I filled in the top of the spaceship. All right, so there we go. That's all covered up and nice and flat. And now for the wings on the side and that sort of thing, I think we have to put the thrusters on to see how we want to do that. So before we get there, let's do the front end of the ship, because we want to make this look a little bit better too. So right down here at the hangar hatch, we're going to do some more slope blocks, because these are going to be kind of the bread and butter of what we're doing here. Let's do this across that way. And then we're also going to need to turn this guy and go right across this way. And again, we're going to come all the way back to here, and then we'll put the corner piece in. So here we go, corner, like that. And then I think we want to do we want to do a corner like that? Let's not do that kind of corner. Let's do the other kind of corner. This kind of corner. Oops. And we want to turn him. No, that's not right. That's not going to work either. Let's do a large corner. Oops. That's what we need to do, is turn it that way. Perfect. Okay, so then we just need to come over here and do a large corner on this side. Like that. And then we're going to go back to slopes. Oops, nope. There we go. And come all the way back this way to the end of that one. I know it's really dark and it's kind of hard to see, but bear with me on that. So now we've got our front looking like it's a little bit better. So this hangar does definitely stick out. It's got a big old open mouth on the front of it. But this is going to look better here relatively shortly. So what we want to do is we want a lot of our protection to be for the hangar. So in order to do that, what we want to do is use some of the turrets on the side. Now we could replace this with combat steel, and we might, or hardened steel. We can also do some other things. So let's put the turrets in first, and then we'll wall that off, I think. So capital vessel turrets, and let's do turrets. We can do plasma, we can do artillery, we can do rockets, all sorts of things. I think we want to do a little bit of everything here. So let's do some plasma turrets. And actually, let's not do that. Let's do plasma turrets, and let's do, those are missiles. And let's do cannon or minigun. Both of those are the same damage, but one of them is a lot more rate of fire. So let's do the minigun turrets as well. We're going to mix it up a little bit. So out here, what we want to do is put these things where they can kind of defend the hangar. So we're going to put one of those there. We're going to do one just on the opposite side as well. Right like this. There we go. So those both have their guns right at the edge of the hangar. That's pretty nice. And then what we want to do is come back here and do the same thing on the back of the ship. And we're going to put that kind of way back up here. Let's do one dorsal and one ventral. So we'll do that one kind of right up front, and then we're going to do one right on the bottom, because we're never going to land this vessel. This is only ever going to be in space. No intention of designing this to be landable. Should we do it right under the hangar? Yeah, let's do it right under the hangar. There we go. Those are all the minigun turrets. Now we want the plasma turrets to be a secondary backup here. So let's put those. Can we get one in here? We sure can. Put one right there. And we'll do one on the other side over here. Did it go all the way to the front? I can't remember. It went, yep, all the way to the front with the base of that. There we go. And then we're also going to need one of these, but these are going to point a little bit differently. So we've got our miniguns, that's all forward facing. Now we want a couple on the back. So we're going to do one up here facing the other way, and then one right there, and we're going to do last one right over here. So that's going to be a lot of guns. We're going to need some ammo storage for sure, but that's going to make us really nice and safe. Anything that comes anywhere near this is going to be pretty much messed up. The only downside is we only have kind of one underneath the ship, but that's all right. Okay, so we're bristling with turrets. Happy with that. Now what we want to do is maybe take some armor plating and come around the other parts that aren't armor plated with some walls. And so if we come over here, we can get this right close to the ship, and then right, no, not that way, this axis. Right like that. And we are going to leave some gaps here, but this way we can cover this thing with armor plating without making it really, really just super thick. I don't think we want the ship to be much bigger than it is. So just like that, and then we're going to bring this all the way down to the end. Oops, not that guy. Didn't mean to do that. Let's take that out. There we go. And same thing, we're just going to fill this in here. Okay, so we'll do that sort of at the end. We'll leave the turrets slightly inset. I don't think they can actually hit this little steel block without hitting the turret, and you can see the turret's actually got 750 hit points, and the hardened steel only has 200. You can, looks like you can just barely get that, but that's pretty unlikely. So if we have a problem with that in the future, we might change that. But we're going to come around, and we'll probably actually go ahead and armor up the hangar door itself too. Just like that. And I'm going to do the rest of that, but we're going to battle armor this whole thing right at the very end. So before we go any further with that, let's keep going with what we need to do. So we need to put some thrusters on this thing. We need to put some side thrusters, front thrusters, all 6 directions. So let's do this, and we're going to do thrusters, and we need directional thrusters. So this is main unit propulsion, that's secondary propulsion. We normally would need 6 of these, 1 for each axis, which means I probably want to do 24 of these. Oops, there we go, we got more than 24. So there's 35 of them. Let's go ahead and we're going to do 4 facing each side. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to be pretty easy to mirror on the other side. Let's go ahead and do that. Bring it down here. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got good thrust left and right. Now we're going to need some thrust fore and aft. So what we're going to do down here is we're going to bring this under the front of the hangar here. And let's do this. There we go. So we're going to do 1, 2, we're going to take a gap, 3, 4. That's going to give us our reversing thrust. And then we need to do some pointed down and some pointed up. So let's do this one over here, and then we're going to need to bring this like that. So we're going to do 1, where is it? That's just on that side. Do there. Is that right? No, that's not right. Right there, that's what I want. I want these to kind of be lined up with the gaps up here. Yeah, there's that one. And let's come across. We're going to do 5, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, so we've got our up, down, left, and right. And our reverse, we need our forward and our down. So forward thrust, this doesn't need to have much because we're going to have actual thrusters as well. But let's go ahead right back here. Let's actually tuck those in after we get our regular thrusters in, see if we still need them. So let's see if we can get a top-down thrust. We'll probably just need to put that up here somewhere. So let's do a couple behind each gun. So we're going to do 1, 2, right like this. 1, 2, and then we're going to do the same thing back here behind this gun. So we're going to take that guy out and that guy out. 1, 2. There we go. So now we have all of our directional thrust except forward. And for that, what we're actually going to do is use some bigger thrusters. So let's use, I don't think we need extra large. Let's see what they look like, though. They might be cool. And if we don't do that, we'll use large thrusters. Oh, wow. Those things are enormous. Look at that. Okay. So for these things, what we would need... Let's see. Let's just stick a couple of these on here for a minute. These regular large thrusters. Let's turn the axis and see if this is enough push. If it is, then we don't really need to worry about putting the extra large on unless we just like the look of them. And this is not where they're going to stay. I'm just going to stick them on here and see how this thing handles. So let's do right there and right there. Okay, that's going to be fine for now. That should be enough to get this thing moving. Let's go ahead and find our cockpit again, which we don't have any way to get into the ship except for through the main hangar. We don't have any kind of side hatches, so we'll have to work on that too. For now, let's see. We'll do that from inside. For now, we'll go in through the hangar, and we're not going to do this for too much longer. So let's come in this way. Whoop. Turn off our jetpack rather. And let's come right up the elevator. Okay. Get in here. Go to our third person view. And let's see how this handles. So left and right turning is still great with the 2 RCSs. Okay, it strafes all right. Strafes okay that way. What about going backwards? That's fine. And what about going forwards? Okay, so we're already at maximum speed with just those regular large thrusters. Whoa, okay, it's really hard to stop. We might need some more thrusters to help us stop. All right, and we bounced into an asteroid a little bit. All right, nope, want to go the other way, please. Okay, so we definitely need some more directional thrusters to help us stop our momentum. That's just not going to be enough. Okay. Let's bring this thing right back over near the starting one. And let's get out of that shadow a little bit so we have some more light. Nope, in that shadow too. This is going to be hard to see. I'm just trying to get it back to where we had it. It was pretty decent lighting before. Okay, there we go. So now we probably want some exterior hatches. Probably don't want to go right into the bridge. Maybe back in this hallway we want some exterior hatches. So maybe one right here. That's perfect. And then that's this one, so let's go straight across. And right there. And for now we're just going to leave those open. And we're going to remember to turn our jetpack back on. Alright, so we're going to need some more thrusters for sure, but we don't really need the extra large ones. And I think those material-wise cost a lot more. So we're going to trash those for now. And I think we're going to keep these away as well. Now, with these side thrusters, the easiest thing to do is just put more of them in the same configuration. So we can do just 2 more on that side. And then 2 more on the other side. That might work. Because this is strafing thrusters, that's not going to be that important. So do 1, 2 of those. And we could do more of the up and down thrusters the same sort of way. So let's actually do these as a slightly separate configuration. Because that way if we needed to add more, we always could. Oops, there was. thruster, 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 and thruster. And then down to the bottom of the ship. And over here, I think there's an obvious solution for this as well. There we go. And this thing's already hard enough to move in space. I can't imagine trying to do this in a planetary atmosphere. So then what we need is some more reverse thrusters at the front to help stop this thing when we get going really good. So this is the back of the ship. We probably don't need anything for that. I think those thrusters are really going to be it. That's all we're really going to need. So let's come back around to the front of this thing and just put some more in here. So we want to go that way. And we're just going to do another bay of these down at the bottom. And maybe we'll go ahead and do a few more, just, oops, there we go, thrusters, directional thrusters, capital vessel only. We're going to do the same sort of thing. Oops. There it is. That one and that one. So that's really going to help us stop. Okay, let's take a quick peek in here. And we got our little side hatches. Let's try to go in this way this time. Turn jetpack off just for a minute. Okay, so now we can go forward and we can brake a lot faster. We're going to go backward. That almost stops immediately, but let's go 110 meters per second and then stopping. Not too bad. It's still a capital vessel. It's not going to be quick. I think the RCS actually might be a little overkill. Look how much that turns. That's crazy. But yeah, that's much better in terms of piloting. Okay, good. So let's hop out of that for a minute. And we're going to get out of here and turn our jetpacks back on. There we go. All right, so that works. What I might want to do, though, is make this thing look a little bit wider. Like I said, I might want to add some wings just for aesthetic's sake. And so let's see about doing that real quick as well. If we added something, what we might want to do is add something right back here behind these thrusters. And this is going to need to be full blocks again. And we're going to do this one out of the hardened steel. Let's do 4. We do that. Let's bring that out all the way to here. 5. And then this is going to kind of define the shape of this thing. So we're going to go out to there, I think. And then we're going to come across this way. Oop, too far. Just like that. Oops, I did not mean to damage the large thruster. Good thing I didn't. And then this thing is probably going to need to come out. How far would that want to come? That's not the right direction. Is that going to be enough to make a difference? It's really not. It's going to have to be longer too. Let's just frame this thing out all the way across to here and up to there. I think that's going to actually help us a little bit more with framing out the vessel anyhow. So this is going to make, this is perfect. So what we want to do here is a cut corner, I think. That's not the right thing. No, it should be right. I got my axis wrong. Yeah, there we go. And that's going to nestle into that corner pretty well. And then this one we can bring over with the armor plating if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and do this on the other side. Oh, okay, I see, because it has to match up with that one on top. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry about the details in that. I'm going to do some of that off camera again. I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, is bring this out off camera, and I'll try to shape out the rest of this hull and get back to you guys here again in just a minute. All right, and there it is, all armored up. So you can see we've got armor wall plates on everything except the front hangar doors here. I actually don't want to cover the hangar doors themselves. Oops, I did miss one spot down here, though. So let's go ahead and grab that last little bit of hardened steel. And we're going to do walls right across the front of this thing, and then we'll be done. Okay, so right across here, I don't think I want to cover the doors themselves. I certainly don't want to do that, but we could probably do this. I think that's going to be okay. Yeah, that's going to be all right. And then around here, you can see we got armored walls all around the outside here. We've got armor down the bottom. We've got these little projections here, these kind of wing-looking things. They're inset and then coming out. Right now, they're just decorative. I might try to do something with those in the future. Maybe we'll inset some things, move some guns around, something like that. This is just a little bit of detail here. It's all armored and inset just because we had the space to do that, to break it up a little bit from being a flat block. Not super thrilled with the back. We're going to work on that a little bit maybe later, but kind of texture and paint that a bit. Maybe we'll do some more to bring that forward and back. But this side's the same thing. It's all mirrored. And then at the very bottom, of course, we've also armored that up. So that's armored all the way across the bottom. Not too worried about the bottom because you're never going to see that. Armored at the front for the thrusters as well. So that's all armored in. And that's pretty much going to do it for the exterior of the vehicle. Now we'll do some coloring and some texturing and all that stuff, but I think in the next episode we're going to start working on the interior, and depending on how that goes, there might be one more episode after that. Really just depends on how long it takes and if you guys are enjoying this or not. So again, I think that's going to do it. If you like this video, please be sure to hit that like button. If you really liked it, then make sure to subscribe. And as always, I've been Brickwaffle. Thank you for watching.